Hello everybody, welcome back to Shannon's Shelf. I am Shannon, and today I have another tag for you. I kind of booked myself out pretty far with my videos being scheduled, so I apologize for getting to this tag a little bit late. It's coming out a couple weeks really after I've been tagged, unfortunately. But I was tagged by Jess from Jess Book Girl TV, and she was kind enough to tag me. I recommend going check her channel out. Of course, I will tag her down below. And she says she saw this at Joe Linsdale's channel, so I'll also leave a link to that. I'm not actually sure if that was the original creator of this tag, but this is I'll get around to it later book tag. So there are 7 prompts, and I'll dive right in. Also, I guess if you're new to this channel, welcome. Please feel free to like and subscribe as I try. I've there's been a trend of me getting tagged actually relatively frequently now. My channel is only a couple months old as of recording this at least. But by the way, prompt number 1 is a classic book that you have been meaning to read forever but haven't read yet. So there actually are several classic books that I've been meaning to read. I have several of them that I own already, and I just didn't bring them with me, like The Red and the Black by Stendhal and War and Peace by Tolstoy. I've only ever read one Tolstoy before, and I've never read Dracula by Bram Stoker either. I feel like I kind of just missed the spooky season hype around that. But either way, those are the ones that come to mind. I actually like to read classic books. It's weird because I consider myself a book fan and I like literary fiction, I like just classics, I like fantasy, but I feel like I'm not super well read in any of them, oddly enough. But I do enjoy them, and I'm trying to be more well read, trying to read more so I can actually, not feel like I have big gaps in my resume. By the way, number 2 is a book on your shelf you haven't read yet. So for now, this is my limited shelving right here. And there are a couple books on here that I have not read. So this is on my shelf, and I got this really, I think in June. It was waiting for me when I got here to my new address in Arizona down from Montana. I got here June 1st. And this is A Naturalist's Eye, 20 Somerset Years by Mr. Philip Radford. So I actually joined the Somerset Archaeology and Natural History Society for County Somerset in the UK. That's my patrilineal. My patrilineal line goes to Somerset, and that's why I joined that pretty much. And they sent me a few of their publications. This is a more natural history one, and I don't do natural history now. I think if I lived there, when they do their natural history activities, they send out emails and stuff like, let's go dragonfly watching. That's one they've literally sent out before. I'd be like, if I lived there, I'd be like, hell yeah, let's go do that. But I don't live there. Either way, this is of quick, more natural history photographs for County Somerset, and I would love to get into this. I've kind of been putting it off. It's not been getting prioritized, but I hope to get to it relatively soon. But either way, that is a book on my shelf that I have not read yet. Number 3 is a book that you recently got that you haven't read yet. I just recently mentioned this on my TBR that came out really a couple weeks ago at this point, my TBR for November. I have not read this. I got this literally just a couple days ago at this point. Maybe by the time this video comes out, I will have actually read this. I'm kind of doubtful. There's a good chance I'll at least have started this though. But this is the Friends of Thunder. So this is like an ethnographic, like cultural folktale collection of the Oklahoma Cherokees. And Cherokee is the one tribe that I know of that I know that I have some family ties to that, pretty distant. I don't have any native DNA or anything like that, and I have very little cultural awareness when it comes to Native American tribes, but that's something I would like to change. And I figured might as well start with one that I actually do have some family history ties to. They go back to North Carolina before they were relocated to Oklahoma, but either way, no one in my line was relocated to Oklahoma, and this is looking at them once they were. There was an Eastern band, of course, in Oklahoma, but they were just made American citizens and enveloped in the local society over there when that happened. But that's a book I definitely would like to read, but I got it recently. I haven't read yet. So, and then book 4 or prompt 4, sorry, is a book you had forever but haven't read yet. So I have a lot of these actually back in my storage, but I'm trying to limit myself to what I have, and I have a pretty limited amount here. There's one that I have had for a while, and I technically have read it, but it's been a while. I don't remember much about it. I'm due for a reread. But one I have here that I have not read at all, and I have had it for a few years, is Aesthetics Volume 2 by Dietrich von Hildebrand. This is a Catholic philosopher. I know he wrote extensively on lots of other philosophical topics. I actually have read his first volume. I know this one is not heavily as heavily edited. He passed away before you could get to that. He did write this relatively late in his life. It even has a plug on the back here by Sir Roger Scruton, who I believe is pretty famous. Most people the other ones I don't even recognize. Manfred Honeck and James K.A. Smith, but I think most people maybe not most people. There's a good amount of people that know who Roger Scruton is, I think. But I have not read this, to be honest. I couldn't tell you much even about the first volume, so I'm kind of hesitant to dive into the second volume, but I still have it. I even bothered bringing it with me. Oh, the foreword is by Sir Roger Scruton, even. And the first volume is a little bit smaller. I have read this one. There's a Botticelli. Actually, don't know who the artist is on the cover of this one. But that's Aesthetics Volume 2. I've had it for a few years and I've never read it. Although it's been my intention to. It just hasn't been getting prioritized. I have a lot of other things that I'm kind of a mood reader in many ways. But either way, prompt number 5 is a book a friend recommended that you haven't read yet. I could say this has been recommended by a friend. It was actually recommended by my wife, and I was reading some Sherlock Holmes. I've never read Sherlock Holmes. I actually also relatively recently did a 10 authors I've never read, and I'm hoping to remedy by 2025, and Sir Arthur Conan Doyle was on that list. And I have a copy. It's actually not in here. It's out on the coffee table in the front room because my wife has been reading it, rereading it lately. So that's something I mean, can I consider my wife a friend? Is that cheating? But either way, that's something I haven't read that my wife has recommended for years now, and I am hoping to get to that relatively soon. I'm not confident I'm going to get to that by the end of this year, but we'll see. And then 6, a book you're procrastinating on. I have a couple of these. I mean, I kind of like mentioned the Aesthetics Volume 2. Another one I have is right here. It's another aesthetics thing. It's by Hegel, and these are just his introductory lectures on aesthetics, and it's pretty short. The Hegel's notoriously very difficult to read, so I'm a bit hesitant. I actually got this one relatively recently as well, and I meant to read it. I just haven't gotten around it. Another one that I could say that I got in the same purchase is this Ernst Cassirer, The Philosophy of Symbolic Forms, is Volume 1 on language. I'm actually much more interested in Volume 2. And I think there's there's a degree that I feel like I could get away with just jumping straight into Volume 2 and skipping Volume 1. But I thought it would still be best to do Volume 1 first, and so I got it, and I just haven't... I actually know I disagree with him already. I know the basic premise of his stuff, and so a part of me doesn't even really want to read it anymore. I don't know, it's only 300 pages, but it's philosophical. I've never read Cassirer before, so I don't know how easy or difficult this will be. Either way, I'm sure it's going to be relatively difficult, because it's just philosophy, and it always is relatively difficult, although some are way more readable than others. Hegel's one of the hardest to read. So either way, I'm procrastinating on that. And then the next book on my TBR is the last prompt. Maybe Friends of Thunder. I finished a book today that I am really looking forward to. And actually, all these books behind me, I'm pretty much started or I am about to start. Because I'm reading one with a friend, this other one with a couple friends as well. And then I've started the 2 on the top. This one I need to start, but I haven't. But I guess I could say the one I probably will start reading very soon within the next couple nights, because my friend and I are reading this together. This is The Wars of the Bruces. Now, we are reading this, like, we'll meet every Thursday probably. Actually, I think we're meeting Wednesday next week. We traditionally meet on Tuesdays or Thursdays, but either way, we're going to read the introduction and the first chapter, and then we'll meet together and discuss it. And then we'll read another chapter or 2, meet together and discuss it. So this will take a few weeks. It's only about 250 pages, but that includes all the references. They actually do references per chapter in this book. So we'll see. I don't know. It's a history book, which sometimes are not super easy to read, but this is one I am very interested in. I have ties to the Bruce clan in Scotland. I'm wearing an Irish thing, actually, but, you know, I have ties to both. I'm an American. I can claim whatever I want, right? But either way, those are my questions. Again, thank you very much, Jess, for tagging me. I'm going to tag most of the people that I normally tag. Now, I tag a lot of you guys, and not everyone I don't know if a couple of you guys, I'm looking at you, Liam, my brother, if he's ever done a single tag that I've tagged him in. But I'm tagging you guys anyway. If you feel like you got an itch to do it, go ahead and do it. And of course, I'll tag some of the other very responsive people that do the tags that I tag them in. And if you want me to stop tagging you, you can let me know. Because I kind of tag a similar batch relatively consistently. But either way, I hope you guys have a good one. Please feel free to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you guys with another tag and, well, with another video in just a couple days on Saturday again. I don't know if I'm going to be consistently doing every Saturday. I've done it for a few weeks now, but that might not stay that way. By the way, there is one this Saturday, and I will see you guys probably relatively soon with another tag on top of it. So stick around.